Alright, back with the corridor monorail thingy, which I'm calling the Corriva. A couple changes. We've got a little secondary wheel set back here, and basically that just makes the cart longer and increases the leverage forces, just because this is sticking out so far, because you want at least these 3 carts. You can still tile this. I think it's still best with 2 carts, 2 engine carts, but you don't need it. It's designed for 1 cart and 1 tool head. So that basically just helps there, and I've been refining the station. It's a lot nicer. This is pretty much fully printable, and it's also automatic and switching, so you can from any place request which station you want to go to and then just send yourself down the road, and it's not going to stop at the stations you don't want to stop at. And there's a couple things like the stairways and this cargo hookup that needs to be hand welded, but it's not too bad, especially when it's the stations, right? You're only going to have a couple of these for every given track, because you can only go in one direction without doing some subgrid shenanigans, which I might get into later, but that's a lot. But yeah, we got a couple sensors on this, and that just allows us to do that switching. But you can see we can send this thing down. If we do this, whoop, you can see we just stop. Whoop, wrong button. Yeah. No fuss, just stop. Then we can back up. If you're going the full speed of 65. It's a little more sketchy. You go outside the tube a little bit more, but you do stop. So it still works. Right now it's kind of set to this 2 speeds and like max speed of 55 meters per second, I think is about what it is. Which I find is kind of the ideal spot. But anyways, to head back, if there were more stations, you'd have more buttons to press, but we only have the 1 station right now, Proxima Station. So we'll just send that and we'll activate the station, and then turn our brakes off, and we can just send ourselves down the tunnel. And as soon as we get close, we're going to slow down automatically, and we're just going to cruise on in and stop right at our gate. And our train's all lined up so that if we've got some sorter block shenanigans going on here to spit out items and top up our storage for the welder, it can. And then it can just head off back down the road. Nothing to it. And it's nice and repeatable. Doesn't matter how fast you're going down the tube. And I think there's like, I don't know, a block variation about where it stops, but it's pretty good about stopping right at that door. And a block variation isn't going to matter for here, so that's fine. And it can spit out its stone here. So of course, since it's got detections for when this is coming in, you can just have it sequenced so that it kicks out some items through here into the collector, and then kicks out the stone if it's mining. That's one of the kind of QOL timer block things I still got to implement, but it's working pretty friggin' good. It's nice and stable now. Adding that extra bit to the back was pretty big. You'll see I mainly added it for the extra braking power, but it also kind of comes in kind of clutch here. If you happen to be going max speed and you run out of tube, you can see we kind of shoot out of that too by quite a bit more. If we didn't have this cart, we'd only have half of our wheels in and the leverage force of all this weight. So this just kind of really hedges our bets if we're going that max speed. But I haven't found the need to go that max speed. But we can come in max speed into the station too, that's okay. We'll slow down. And it will, currently, it'll reset back to that half speed, or well, 75% speed. Just because I didn't want to add an extra timer block onto it, but I don't know if I should continue to try and figure out ways to make it faster. I feel like the 50 to 65 meters per second is plenty fast for a monorail that you don't have to do anything for, and it's nice and modular. So there's still, I want to make like a cart that attaches here that's made specifically for elevator functions, so it'll have a way to enter from this block or whatever. You know what I mean. You can have different little carts attached to the back or to the front if you don't have the tool head cart on. It works really, really good. Really, really good. What am I doing? But yeah, if anybody's got any experience doing survival, let's see, you can see here I went back a little bit farther, but it's not too bad. If you look over here, it's probably not going to cause an issue. Hopefully not. But if you have any experience with like doing survival stuff, can I just, I'm presuming that I can just add a couple filters for the components that are used in the construction and then just kind of drive back top up. The only worry is I'm like, if I've got a very seldom used component, is it gonna just swamp my system with that? I don't know if there's a way to like without like Izzy's inventory, I know would do it, but being that I'm not using subgrids, I kind of feel like I shouldn't be using scripts, but I don't know if that's possible. Maybe I'm expecting too much about a sorter. I don't think it can. I don't think like a sorter and an EC block, I don't think that can detect how much of a specific component you have. Just not unless I had all the storage all sorted off and stuff, but I don't have the room for that, so it might just need to be a script thing, which still isn't bad because the main reason I'm not using subgrids is just to make it printable, not to make it super vanilla or anything. And you could still use it without the scripts, you just have to manually load it. But yeah, here's where it is. Still a couple things to do, but should be finished soon. Should be finished soon, I think. I don't know. I really like how it's turned out. I think it's working really good now. It moves super quick, super reliable at where it ends up. As an elevator, it's not super great right now because, as you can see, the sensor is right here for the slow, and it comes out 20 blocks, so it's starting its slowdown like over here. So it would be a pretty big distance between floors. I think there could be a shorter way to do it, assuming the cart is moving at slower speeds. But I don't know. Yeah, I'm just gonna call it here.